What's up everyone, welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up Google Ads conversion tracking in your Google Ads account using Google Tag Manager and using Google Analytics 4. So the very first thing that you are going to need to do is create a Google Analytics 4 account, create a Google Tag Manager account, and create a Google Ads account, which can all be done after you set up your standard Gmail or Google account. So once you do these three things, it's very straightforward to create your own account. Make sure you enter the URL for your website as you're creating your accounts if you haven't created them already. Now, what I'm going to be showing you in this video today is within our Google Ads account, how you can track specific actions on your website and the three things I'm going to be showing you. So let's just take an example from DocuSign.com. If you go to DocuSign.com, one of their buttons at the very top here that they want you to click on is try for free. I'm going to show you how to actually track every single click on this button. So if we click on this button, it's going to bring you to a page right here. Now, what I'm going to show you next is how to actually track every time someone submits this form on your website. There's different ways to do this, so I'm going to show you a couple different ways, show you a really easy way to do this with WordPress using the WP Forms plugin. So if you're using the WP Forms plugin and you create a form through WP Forms, I will show you how to actually track that form submission. The other thing is, let's just say, for example, I submit my email, I click on Get Started, and they redirect me to some type of thank you page. So a thank you page that looks something like this one. I'm going to be showing you how to track that as well. Now, obviously, if you're tracking form submissions, you shouldn't be tracking every time someone submits the form and every time someone visits the thank you page. Use whichever one is better suited for your website, depending on what your form does. A lot of forms are not going to automatically redirect to a new page, so I'll be showing you how to track all of these things on your website. Now, to get started, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is actually set up Google Tag Manager on your website. So in order to install Google Tag Manager, what you have to do is, usually after you create your Google Tag Manager account, it's going to show you how to install Google Tag Manager, and you have to place these two pixels on your website. This one in between the header tags, this one immediately after the opening body tag. So what you want to do is, if you're using WordPress, I am using a plugin called Head, Footer, and Post Injections. So if you go to add new plugins, just search Head, Footer, Post Injections. It will be the very top one here. You want to install it and activate it, and then you're going to open up the Head, Footer, and Post Injections plugin. And all you need to do is place your first piece of code right here. You're going to see head and footer. So this is going to be in between your header tags. And the other thing you need to do is, after the opening body tag, place the other piece of code. So we're going to come back over to Tag Manager. You just copy this here, come back over to your header and footer plugin on your WordPress website, paste that there. The next thing you want to do is come down and you want to copy this code right here. Again, come right over, do it to underneath the after opening body tag, and you also want to select mobile and put it here as well. Scroll down, click on Save. So once you click on Save, you will have both of those pixels on your website. Now what we want to do is go back to Google Tag Manager. You want to go back to your workspace in Google Tag Manager, and you want to submit, enter a version name, a version description, and click on Publish. Once you click on Publish, you will officially have Google Tag Manager installed on your website. I will show you a plugin that you can use to make sure that you have Google Analytics 4 and Google Tag Manager properly installed on your website, but let's install Google Analytics next. So once you've clicked Publish here and you have your Tag Manager all set up, so first we need to install Google Analytics. So we're going to click on Add a New Tag here. You want to name your tag. So let's just say GA4 Tag. We're going to click on Tag Configuration, and what you're going to do is Google Analytics GA4 Configuration. Now what you need to do is get your measurement ID from your Google Analytics 4 account. So if we come over here to our Google Analytics 4 account and you go to Setup Assistant, and then you want to go to Collect Website and App Data. Now your screen may look slightly different than this when you're creating your Google Analytics 4 account, but let's just say, for example, you see a screen that looks like this. We're trying to collect website and app data. We're going to click and manage data streams. Now you need to make sure that you set up a web stream, which they're going to prompt you to do as you're creating your Google Analytics 4 account. Now when I click on my web stream, you can see my measurement ID right here. So this is what we need. So G hyphen, and there's a bunch of different letters. So we're going to copy this. We're going to come back over to Google Tag Manager, and we're going to paste our measurement ID right here. Now all we're going to do is send a page view event when this configuration loads. We're going to scroll down to triggering, and we are going to do this on all pages. Essentially what we're saying is we want to put our Google Analytics 4 tag on every single page on our website, and we want it to track a page view every time someone views a different page on our website. So what we can do is click on Save Now. Now I already have this tag installed, so if we click on the X here, click Discard Changes, we go to Tags. You can see I have my GA4 tag already here, so you just want to set this up the same way that I set it up. Click on Save, and then again what you're going to do is submit your container. So let's just say we're going to do, so you can do a version name, version description, and now we're going to click on Publish. So when you click on Publish, if you haven't published your Google Tag Manager account yet, you should now have your Google Analytics 4 tag on your website. So now you're tracking everything that's happening on your website into Google Analytics 4. The other thing that you already have is Google Tag Manager on your website, which is going to allow you to add any other tags you want and any customizations you want to do with Google Analytics 4, specifically creating events, which I will go through shortly. Now, the other thing I want to make sure that you have in Google Analytics 4 is when you get to your web stream details page like this, you want to make sure that you enable enhanced measurement. What you can also do is make sure you're doing all of these different tracking. So we're going to click right here to configure enhanced measurement. Make sure you have all these checked. There's no downside to measuring everything that's happening on your website. So one of the things that may not be checked is form interactions. So this could be really important because there are a couple different ways to actually track forms with the form interactions. But what we can do is click on Save, and now we have set up enhanced measurement. We have Google Analytics 4 installed on our website. We have Google Tag Manager installed on our website. So let's come back over here to our workspace, and let's come back over here to our Google Analytics 4. We're going to come back into our admin section. Now, before we set up our event tags for Google Analytics 4, one of the things you want to do in Google Tag Manager is select variables. So there's different built-in variables for Google Tag Manager, and you want to click on Configure here. You want to make sure these top 5 are already selected. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, event as well. And then as we scroll down, choose all of the ones underneath clicks and choose all of the ones underneath forms. So we're going to do those 2 variables for right now. Click on X. You can submit to publish your version, but you don't have to yet. We're going to start creating our tags. And if we come over here to tags, I've already set up a few of these tags, but the way to set them up is you're going to come over here to Workspace, and what you're going to do is click on Add a New Tag. So when you're under Add a New Tag, we're going to first name our tag. So for the very first thing I'm going to be showing you is how to actually track every time someone clicks this button right here. So let's come back over to Tag Manager. Let's say Join Workshop Example. And we're going to do, you can name this whatever you want. You want to make sure you have a descriptive tag name. Click on Tag Configuration, and we're going to be doing a GA4 event. So under GA4 event, next we need to choose our configuration tag. Since we just set up Google Analytics 4 in our Google Tag Manager, we want to choose GA4 tag right here. Now, the other option that you have is if you don't have your GA4 tag here in Google Tag Manager is you can click on Manually Set ID and actually put your Google Analytics 4 measurement ID right here. So that's another option that you have. But what we can do is if we come up to our configuration tag, we're going to choose GA4 tag, and then we're going to name our event. So with our event name, I'm going to do Join Workshop Example. So just to show you how this actually works, and basically what you're telling Google Tag Manager right now is we're going to set up an event. I want you to use the tracking pixel we just recently set up and placed on our website. And every time that event happens, I want you to use this name as that event name. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, it will shortly. Next, we need to trigger when to actually count this event in our Google Analytics 4 account. So we're going to come over here to triggering. And what you want to do is you want to click on the plus sign right here, and you want to name your trigger. So what we're going to do is we'll just say Join Workshop Example Trigger. Okay, and then we're going to click on Trigger Configuration. And what you're going to do is you're going to do click, you're going to choose all elements, you're going to do some clicks, and what you're going to do is you're going to say when the click text equals, and for mine, it's going to be the exact thing that it says here. So Join Workshop. For example, if we were using the DocuSign example, they would have try for free. So whatever your button actually says, that's actually what we're tracking. So we're tracking anytime someone clicks a button that says this text, or anytime someone clicks a link that says this text on it. So coming back over to Google Tag Manager, mine is click text equals Join Workshop. Now, the other thing you can do is, let's just say you have join workshop buttons all over your website and you want to track them separately. What you could do is say, click on the plus sign here and say, fire this trigger when all of these conditions are true. So the other condition that you can do is say the page URL and just take your actual page URL here. So I could just copy this right here. We can come over to Tag Manager. Let's just do page URL contains, and we'll do basically the exact URL here. So what this would say is, I want to track every time someone clicks this button on this specific page. Now, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to say, anytime someone clicks a button that says join workshop, I want to count that as an event in my Google Analytics 4 account. Now, this could be very useful. So let's just say you have book an appointment. So if you have buttons all over your website that say book an appointment, then anytime someone clicks one of those buttons, you can actually track it as an event in Google Analytics 4. Same thing with start a free trial or anything like that. The main thing is this needs to actually match the text that is on your individual link that people are clicking. Now, I like to make these all capitalized so then you don't have to worry about anything being case sensitive. I would enter it case sensitive here exactly how you have it on your button. So if we come over to Tag Manager, this is all we need to do. So click all elements. This trigger fires when the click text equals join workshop. Click on save. And now we have this event ready to fire in our Google Analytics 4 account. We can click on save. Now, the only reason why I did this twice is because if we come over here to tags, you can actually see right here, I have join workshop 2 button. So there is absolutely no difference at all with this setup as the other setup. So I just wanted to show you, it's very easy to do this. Again, same thing. We're going to be doing a tag type GA4 event. So we're going to be using our configuration tag, naming our event. This is join workshop 2. And then we come over here to triggering. You're going to see this is click all elements when the click text equals join workshop 2. If we come over to this page, this button says join workshop. This button says join workshop 2. Now, when you make these changes, you click on save to save your tags. If you come over here to tags, you can make sure that you have your tags here. Obviously, I have one for join workshop button, one for join workshop example, one for join workshop 2. So this may end up firing 3 different events when I actually click on my 2 buttons. And I will show you exactly how to make sure that they are working properly. So we're going to click on submit here. We're going to add our version name. So I have my name, my description here. You can make these as descriptive as you want, and we'll click on publish. Okay, so now we have our tags set up on our website, and we should be able to actually track every single click on those buttons back into Google Analytics 4. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is if you want to make sure your tags are installed properly, if you're using Google Chrome, you can install Tag Assistant Legacy by Google. So install it to Google Chrome, activate it, and then when you come over to your page, you're going to see at the very top here, if you don't see it, click on this little puzzle piece right here, and then choose Tag Assistant Legacy by Google. Make sure that is pinned. And then what we can do is we click on it, and we want to make sure we enable Google Tag Assistant Legacy. And then what you have to do is refresh your page. And what you'll see over here is we have our global site tag, which I added. That's directly from Google Ads. We have our global site tag. This is from Google Analytics. So obviously you don't need both of these, but I'm just going to be showing different ways to track conversions for basically any advertiser who's struggling with conversion tracking, because it's such an important part of your Google Ads campaigns. But we have our global site tag here. This is from Google Analytics. And then we have Google Tag Manager installed as well. So just to make sure you have all of your tags on your website, now what you want to do, and this part is a little bit more complicated, but we want to make sure our events are firing properly. So we're going to be in Google Analytics here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to come over to Debug View. So when you're in the admin portion of Google Analytics 4, under Property, we're going to be going to Debug View. So when you come here, it's going to allow you to actually debug whether certain events are happening on your website. If we come over to Google Tag Manager, what we need to do is come back to our workspace. We're going to be clicking on Preview. And then what you want to do is going to look like this, is you want to come over to the page that you're actually tracking. So I have my URL right here. We're going to come back over and we are going to paste our URL. Then we're going to click on Connect, and it's going to open up a page where we can actually track what's happening on our website through Google Analytics 4. So you can see our tag assistant is connected here. So what you want to do is actually complete the main conversions that you're trying to track. So right here, we're going to click on Join Workshop. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and click on Join Workshop 2. So we're going to be doing these two things. So we're clicking both of our buttons. And then in Google Analytics, what you're going to do is under debug device, you want to choose Google. So that's going to allow you to actually track what's happening on your website. Now you can see both of these events just fired. So page view fired because we actually had a page view on our website. Next, it actually fired join workshop example, and join workshop 2. So those are the 3 different tags we set up in our Google Tag Manager account. So if we come over here, you can see we have join workshop 2, join workshop, and join workshop example, and all of the names are pulling in directly from the event names that we set up. So this is how debug view can be very helpful, because you may not see these actual events occurring immediately if you go to your reports. So if we're in reports in Google Analytics 4, we go to engagement and we go to events. So if you're going to these different pages here, you may not see anything happening, let's just say today. So we click on apply. It may take a little while for these events to come in. Now, don't mind my complete lack of traffic on this website. This is a long-term project for me that I plan on actually doing a bunch of tutorials for this website. So the very first thing I want to show you is conversion tracking. Now, here's what we need to do next. So to make those events actually conversions, we're just going to make one event a conversion. You could do this for any event you want, but what we want to do is we're going to be coming over here to engagement. We're going to be coming over here to conversions. And let's just say the button that we want to actually track, if we come over here, is this main join workshop button. So this is the main one that we want to track here. So if we come back over to Google Tag Manager, what you want to do is make sure you're having the right button that you set up. So this would be my join workshop button. And then what you need is your event name. So my event name is join workshop. So we're going to copy that event name. We're going to come back over to Google Analytics 4. And right now we're in our conversions. Now within your conversion screen, you're going to see there's probably going to be no data available if you're not tracking any events as conversions yet. So what you need to do is you need to come down here to admin. So this is where we're going to go to actually track our conversions after we set up this event as a conversion. So you'll be able to see how many times people are actually clicking on this button on your website. So let's come back over here to admin. And what we're going to do is under property, you're going to see conversions here. So what we need to do is click on new conversion event. And then you want to put your event name right here. So the event name that you set up in Google Tag Manager, so mine is join workshop. This is the event that Google Analytics 4 is tracking every single time someone comes in here and clicks on this button. So we're going to come over to Google Analytics 4 again. We have our event name, join workshop, click on save, and now it will track that event as a conversion. You want to make sure this is marked as a conversion here. So now we have a conversion set up every time someone clicks a specific button on our website. So if you're looking to actually track the key things that are happening on your website, this is a very easy way to do it. Once you get Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics 4 all installed on your website, it's actually not too difficult to create events in Google Analytics 4 using Google Tag Manager and then mark those events as conversions by simply using the event name as the conversion name as well. So the next thing that we need to do is make sure that we have linked our Google Ads and our Google Analytics 4 accounts. This will allow us to actually import this conversion directly into Google Ads. So this is a really important part here, and through your Google Analytics 4 account, go to your Google Ads links. The other thing that I'm going to show you is if you come over here to your Google Ads account, you go to Tools and Settings, under Setup, you're going to see Linked Accounts. So this is where you can link different accounts to your Google Ads account. So I'm going to be doing this directly through Google Ads, and you're going to see right here, one of the options under linked accounts is Google Analytics GA4 and Firebase, and what you want to do is click on details. Now, since I'm using the exact same Google account for my Google Ads account and my Google Analytics 4 account, you're going to see the property show up right here, and with actions, we're going to choose link, and then we're going to click import Google Analytics audiences after linking. So we're going to select this and click on link. Okay, so we have this successfully linked in our Google Ads account. So let's come back over to Google Analytics 4 and let's just actually refresh this page. And you'll see we have this linked right here as well. So we have both of these links in Google Ads, Google Analytics 4. The next thing, come over to your Google Ads account. We're going to go to Tools and Settings, and we're under Measurement, we're going to be going to Conversions. So through your conversions page, we're going to click on New Conversion Action. You have different options here. So I'm going to be going through some of these different options in follow-up videos, but the main thing you want to do right now is click on Import. So what we did is we basically said, create an event using Google Tag Manager, set that event as a conversion in Google Analytics 4 every time it fires, and then what we want to do is take that actual conversion and import all the data from that conversion directly into our Google Ads account so we can actually attribute our Google Ads campaign to our actual conversions happening. So you'll be able to see whether a conversion is happening from organic search, from social media, direct traffic, referral traffic, or from a Google Ads campaign. So we want to select what you want to import, Google Analytics 4 properties. We're going to choose web and click on continue. Okay, and what I wanted to show you is you may get a message that looks like this. If events are missing, check the status of your Google Analytics 4 property link on your Google Analytics 4 and Firebase linked accounts page. So we're going to click on this. It's going to bring us back to this page. What we need to do is activate apps and web metrics. So we're going to click on activate and we're going to activate. Okay, so now it should look like this. We have our status is linked, app and web metrics activated. And you can see we have this activated over here to the right-hand side. So let's come back over to our conversion tracking one more time and go through this process. I don't think it hurts to see the process multiple times just because this is pretty complicated. Google Analytics 4 property, we're going to choose web and we're going to click on continue. And as you can see here, we have our conversion actions that we can actually import from our Google Analytics 4 property into Google Ads. So now we're going to click on join workshop, click on import and continue. Now we're going to repeat this process for the other conversion actions that we're doing, but we're going to click on done here. One thing I want to show you is when we're choosing this, so you can do the get started here for get to know conversion goals, especially if you have a new account. If we click on this conversion, we want to click on edit settings, and then you're going to see the conversion name, goal, action, and you're going to see the option here to put it in a specific category. So you can put this in any category that you want. It's not a sale. This would be considered a lead. So let's just say it's a contact. So we're going to add contacts to our account default goals, and we're going to say it's a primary action used for bidding optimization. And what I can do now is click on save. But one thing I want to show you real quick is, let's just say, for example, I want to really track every time someone actually fills out this form. And I just want to know every time someone does click this button, but I don't want to optimize my bids specifically for this button click. So what you would do is you would go back to Google Ads. Rather than choosing contact here, you're going to scroll down to other. So under more categories, you're going to scroll to other, and you can do a secondary action not used for bidding optimization. Now let's just use contact here. Let's say I want to optimize my bids for this click. Click on save. One thing you can actually do is set a value for your actual conversion that's happening, and that value will come in through every conversion through Google Ads. So you can say if this conversion, let's just say, for example, I'm selling some type of I have this workshop on my website and people have to spend $99 to join the workshop. So what I could do is say $99, use the same value for every conversion and click on save. And now every time a conversion comes into my account, it will actually pull in that $99. So you can do that, or you can just say use the value from your Google Analytics 4 property. If you have a value coming in there, you could do don't use a value, but a lot of times same value for each conversion. Something that's a lead, I generally just put 1 and we'll click on save. So we'll just count every single conversion as 1. We'll say $1, but that's fine. We're just counting each individual conversion. Now count, you can either do every conversion or one conversion. Generally for leads, signups, you want to choose 1, every for any purchase. So we'll click on cancel. Click through conversion window. You can keep this as long or as short as you want. I generally just keep it set at 90 days. Click on save, and then attribution model is going to be data driven. I'm going to do more details about what data driven actually means, and I would like to use some real examples. So I'm not going to be going through this too much, but basically the attribution model determines how much credit each ad interaction gets for your conversions. So I like to use data driven because someone may click on an ad, they may leave your website, they may go back to your website, they may click on another ad. So then you actually know what's driving conversions on your website. So click on save, click on done, and now we can actually optimize our campaigns. Every time someone clicks this button, we're going to optimize our Google Ads campaigns to try to drive more and more button clicks. So that's the very first example of Google Ads conversion tracking. Kind of complicated, in all honesty, if you've never set it up before, but hopefully this was helpful in getting everything set up for having an actual conversion here that you can track into Google Ads using data from your Google Analytics 4 account. Now let's go over the next two. We're going to be going through these ones a little bit quicker, obviously. So we're going to be coming back to Google Tag Manager. Let's just set up both of these tags at the same time. So the first one is going to be my workshop confirmation, and this is going to be specific for if you are using WP Forms. So I actually followed along the exact guide from the WP Forms developer documentation. So the way to do this is in your Google Tag Manager account. Well, first you need to create a WP form, and you need to make sure that you have that WP form on your website. So if we come over here, this is what my WP form looks like. I'm just using a short code, very simple, name, first, last, email, choose your workshop, reserve your seat. So you can honestly just track this form by tracking the same way we did earlier and just do reserve your seat anytime someone clicks this button and you're done. So it's that simple to track this form, but I wanted to show you how to actually track a specific form sign up using WP forms. And the way to do that in your Google Tag Manager account is you're going to see down here at the bottom, workshop confirmation. So in your workspace, what you would do is create a new tag. I'm not going to create a new tag for this example. We're going to come back over to our tags. So you're going to create a new tag. It's going to open up a page that looks like this. In your tag configuration, you're choosing GA4 event again. Configuration tag, we're using our GA4 tag, or you can manually set your measurement ID here for your Google Analytics 4 account. Then what we're going to be doing is our GA4 tag. Our event name is workshop confirmation. So we're all set up and good to go there. So we'll click off here and we are coming down to triggering. So this trigger I actually got directly again from the WP Forms website. So when we click here for this trigger, what you're doing is scrolling down under user engagement, you're choosing element visibility. Selection method is going to be CSS selector. And then what you need to do is actually copy and paste this right here. It's .wp forms hyphen confirmation hyphen container hyphen full. When to fire this trigger, once per page, we're going to come down here to advanced, do 1%, observe DOM changes, and then what you can do is actually say anytime someone actually fills out the WP forms that you have, the form that you've created on this specific page. So I have drawadvisor.com/signup. So every time someone fills out this form, coming over here, we're going to be doing when the page URL contains the page URL that we're currently on. You don't need to do this. You can click on the minus sign and just do every single time that this form is actually submitted anywhere on your website if you have multiple forms or the same multiple form on your website. However, you probably should do it for specific pages if you have a ton of different forms on your website. So you could just do some visibility events. Again, from right here, we're going to be doing when the page URL contains and enter our URL there. Okay, so this should all actually track every time someone clicks to fill out our form. So we'll click on save. We're going to click on save again. And what you would want to do now is submit your Google Tag Manager. Now, the other thing I'm going to be showing you is thank you page. So I have a thank you page right here. Now you can do this for any URL. So if it's order confirmation, whatever it says at the back of your URL, so whatever your actual slug of your URL is, you can do this for any type of confirmation page. I'm just using thank you as an example. So I have thanks for signing up for a workshop. Let's just say, for example, somebody fills out this form, it redirects them to this page right here. So the way to track that, obviously you don't need to track both of these, track one or the other, whichever works better for your website. But the way to track that is we're going to come over here to Google Tag Manager again. We're going to click on this thank you page. So if you're in your workspace, click to add a new tag, tag configuration GA4 event. So you're going to start from right there. I've already created this tag, so let's click on our tag here. I just named it thank you page. We have GA4 event, obviously, that we've clicked here. Our configuration tag is GA4 tag, and we've named it thank you page. So that's all you need to do in the top portion here for tag configuration. Next, we need to trigger it. So triggering is actually very simple here. So what you're going to do is from your trigger configuration, let's just get rid of this real quick. Okay, so your trigger configuration, the type, what you're going to choose is page view. So you're actually triggering this every time someone has a page view. Do not do on all page views because that will count every single page view as a thank you event. You're going to do some page views, and what you're going to do is when the page URL, you could do contains or equals. A lot of times I'll just do contains and do my URL just like this. So we have our domain here and then thank you. So obviously if you have multiple pages that say thank you in the URL, you want to make sure you're just not counting different pages as a conversion. So now we have page URL contains drawadvisor.com/thank you. We want to track that as a GA4 event. So we're going to click on save. What this is saying is count a GA4 event called thank you page every time someone visits this thank you page. Click on save. Again, what you need to do is make sure you submit your Google Tag Manager workspace. So we will do this here. I'm just going to enter quick things here so we can move along a little bit in this video. Okay, so now we have if you come to your workspace in Tag Manager, you should have tags or at least one tag that looks something like this with a GA4 event, you should have some firing trigger here. So right now, the two ones that we're going to be tracking, and we're going to be doing the same exact thing through the preview section here. So I already have these up here. So let's get rid of some of these. And we're going to come back over, click on the X here. We're going to scroll down, and we are going to go to our debug view in our admin screen again. So you're not going to see your device yet, or at least we do see it here, I guess. So maybe we're still connected. We're going to click on preview. We're going to take the URL where our form is, and we're going to come over here. We're going to paste this URL, click on connect. Okay, so we're going to come over here, enter our first name, our last name. I have fake name. I have fake email at gmail.com. Choose our workshop. So we'll go May 24th, and we're going to reserve our seat. So what's going to happen here is it's not going to redirect to a page. It's just going to say, thanks for contacting us. We will be in touch with you shortly. So let's come over to our debug view. What you're going to see is user engagement, page view, form start. So since we enabled form tracking earlier, it's going to actually show form start. And here's our workshop confirmation. So that means they actually tracked that somebody filled out that form. We have our workshop confirmation. So it's really that simple to set up events when somebody fills out a specific form if you are using WP forms. I think it's easier to track with WP forms than it is with Contact Form 7 if you are using a WordPress website and you're using one of these form submissions. Otherwise, what you can do, honestly, is just use the example I did where just whatever your button name says here, use that as a conversion or try to redirect someone to a thank you page. Now, there's other ways to track forms I'm not going to be going through in this video because I want to get through this video as fast as I can so it doesn't seem like it's extremely difficult to set up conversion tracking. So let's come over to our Google Analytics. You can see we have our workshop confirmation here. So that tracked that specific event. So let's make sure our thank you page is also tracking properly. So we're going to come over here again to our Google Tag Manager. We're going to click on preview again. And now we want to do our thank you page. So we're just going to click on thank you. We're going to copy this URL, come over here, enter thank you, click on connect. Okay, so we visited our thank you page. We're going to come back over to our debug view and we are using the Google device still. And there we go, page view, scroll, and thank you page. That's what we're looking for right there is thank you page. Now, you should already know how to mark these events as conversions, but we'll go through it one more time and import them into our Google Ads account one more time, and that will finalize this video. So we're going to come back to our admin screen. We're going to go to conversions. We need to make sure we do our two events. So mine was thank you page. Click on save. Obviously, you don't want to track all of these as conversions. I'm just showing you this as an example. The other one was workshop confirmation. You want to make sure you have the correct event names in here, otherwise your conversions will not track properly. So workshop confirmation, thank you page, join workshop. Let's come back into our Google Ads account. We are in our conversions page. So go to tools and settings, under measurement, go to conversions. And what we want to do is click on the plus new conversion action, import from Google Analytics 4 web. We're going to click on continue. And you'll see these here. So we still have purchase. That's an automatic one that's going to be created when you actually set up your Google Analytics 4 property. But we select these two, import and continue. And now we have different conversion actions in our Google Ads account that we can optimize for. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have your main conversion action that you're optimizing for, which in my case, if I were actually running these workshops, would be when someone actually fills out this form. You can also do when someone visits the thank you page. That's really what you would want to track in this case. Now, if you want to track button clicks, that's another good thing to track. It's basically just one way to see how people are moving along in your website and along the funnel to a conversion on your website. So hopefully this all makes sense. I'll be going through more about conversion tracking in some follow-up videos and also how you can optimize for your conversions when you're creating Google Ads campaigns. Now, this may seem pretty complicated, but it's actually not too bad. I'm going to be showing you some different ways to set up conversion actions, not using your Google Analytics 4 and Google Tag Manager account, but that will be a separate video. Hopefully this was all helpful. If you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.